Okay, so the NBA, a good thing they have done is basically they made a rivals week for basically a week, and they have all the best NBA teams play, and the NBA did a WID on that. The reason why I say is because many of the games were close, you had many of good teams playing, and it basically was very good for all NBA fans to see on national television. Like, for example, I'll give you one example for the Boston and the Lakers game when LeBron got fouled. Basically, it went to overtime, and basically the Celtics basically won the game. And Jalen Brown just basically came up clutch and basically saved the Celtics. This is basically a thing for all of the NBA to watch. If the NBA could have this, it's basically like the playoffs for a week in a sense, but it's not really counted. But the NBA did a good job in having this rivals week. And you had many good matchups like the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And you had the Brooklyn Nets versus the 76ers. And Memphis versus Golden State, where Curry got ejected, which we'll talk more about that. He got ejected for throwing his mouthpiece out, which makes no sense, but I think the NBA has to look at that. Then you had the Knicks versus Celtics, and the rest carries on. You had many good games. So for the NBA, I think we should look at this because basically it's like kind of like a playoff preview in a sense, but it's early in the NBA season. It'll be very nice, and they had a good time in January. And it's a very good hype for basically before the All-Star break because the trade deadline's coming around, and having this for Rivals Week is a pretty much good idea. And basically to highlight the good matches I saw last night were basically Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, as they both went crazy, and the Celtics and Lakers game that I already spoke about, and the last but not least, the Knicks and the Nets game are pretty much entertaining as well. And I think that's very much good for all the NBA to watch. So the NBA can keep this up is very much good to see because the NBA has been getting very much penalized for the scheduling, kind of, and the referees have been getting penalized for the shitty foul calls. But for the NBA, they have to keep this up. And to bring excitement back to the NBA, back to when it was basically like in 2016, the NBA just has to keep doing what it's doing. Because out of all the 25 teams, they're basically competing for a playoff spot, and the rest of the teams are just tanking. So the NBA can look at this thing as a W, and I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. So for the NBA, what they need to do next time is they gotta implement more national broadcast weeks, so basically just implement more games and basically give teams many more broadcasting games. Like for example, the Raptors got a national broadcast game, but I think it was on NBA TV. But at the same time, it was very great to see. But at the same time, the NBA, they're heading in the right direction of basically scheduling. And I think right now, for how the NBA stands, I think it's pretty much okay, but the NBA pretty much has a scoring problem, and they basically have a small problem with basically how the league is basically implemented, with, for example, like fouls, games. There's so many things the league has to basically fix, so I think next year, if the league can fix that, it could pretty much be a promising season, but I'm not complaining. The NBA has been exciting, but there's still much more for the league to do for basically implement it into a good league. But the NBA this week, it felt like it was right where it was, and the excitement we got for Rivals Week was pretty much good. If we can have this in the playoffs, like a week before the playoffs, to be very good. I think for the refs, if they could have got the LeBron call right, it would have been better, but at the same time, who am I to blame, right? So if you are new, be sure to smack that like button, like the video, and do all that good stuff. And it's your boy Demi, more NBA and Raptors content on the way, and I'm out, man. Peace.